Sure, we've got a good seminar in Cannes this year. We've got Paul and Jess coming down from Contagious, working with us at Publicis. And the idea really is to introduce the concept of contagious ideas that change the conversation. And what we're really going to do is lay out 4 or 5 clear areas that we think are important for people to bear in mind when they're looking at changing conversations by defining different types of conversations that have been changed in different ways. And hopefully, of course, show some great work at the same time. I think one of the things that we've noticed with clients is that if they adopt contagiousness as a business strategy, what they realize is that they're no longer kidding themselves about being in control of their brands, and they're embracing the freedom of their brands to the advantage of their business. By this I mean that quite a lot of clients still say they understand their brands are free, but what they often act and do in times of stress is to close down, is to lock out customers. And people don't like that. And then they get into all sorts of issues on their Facebook page and so on. So what we think is that when people are embracing this, they're seeing the reward from consumers who then feel that the brand is even closer to them. And the key thing is we've learned as marketers is that conversations don't happen on the sofa in front of the television. So one of the great things about the modern communications age is that we're able to get the conversations into the places where people are having the conversations. One of my favorite examples is when we did a beer brand a couple of years ago, and we managed to get a lot of the activities for Spates beer into the television in the bars by going on the nightly news, by having a really interesting activity going on. This kind of thing is completely radical and different from just simply running the ads. So the opportunity for brands to get into those places where people are having the conversations and stimulate the conversations on mobile or on the web or in other places is absolutely stellar for brands. Yeah, the old days of doing campaigns was definitely ready, aim, fire. And now we're very much more in the ready, fire, aim mold. Downside is you can't go to the pub after putting the ad on there because unfortunately the work is no longer done. But we can learn from our PR friends because that's exactly how they do campaigns. They put stuff out there and then they react, they see what's going on and they steer. And to be honest, it's a much more interesting way to go about doing the business. So I don't think it's too big a crisis for the industry. I think it's actually an opportunity for us to produce more work in more interesting ways in different places and to steer the conversation as it transpires. Some of the best stories out there, of course, ones that I like are going to be ours, but so we've got iHobo, for example, here in the UK, which is a fabulous app looking at homelessness and really bringing it alive to people, and huge number of downloads. But being slightly more generous in my praise, rather than just looking at our own, I think the Pepsi refresh work is outstanding. I think the Nike Chalkbot work is outstanding, and there's plenty of others. I've seen them in the pages of Contagious in the last few months, and we're going to showcase a lot of those in Cannes.